Hi again everyone, Scott Pyre Popcorn Fan here, and in this video I want to talk about Dune Part 3, essentially Dune Messiah. Now that the second film has been out for a little while, I think it is a good time now to talk about what could potentially happen for Dune Part 3, which would essentially be subtitled Messiah, and it would be adapting the second novel. And you know, the director Denis Villeneuve has talked about how this will essentially be his last film. Although it might not be the last Dune movie, it will essentially be Denis Villeneuve's pitch of a third film in a trilogy, with Paul's story. And, that's great. I think that this will most likely not be a direct. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some changes in the story, right? Like almost all movies adapting books always make changes. Dune Part 2 made some changes with its story, even though it was a lot more faithful than the 1980s film. There were a few changes that were made in Dune Part 2. But like I've mentioned, maybe I haven't mentioned it, but I don't know the books. I have not read the books. So but with where this previous movie ended, and how some spoilers here. Click away if you don't want anything spoiled. But at the end of Dune Part 2, Paul Atreides and the Fremen, they essentially go to war with the other with the other houses that govern the galaxy. And that's essentially what the next story will be, Dune Part 3. And Paul essentially going to war with the rest of humanity. So it's like this holy war, and it'll be so fascinating seeing how that goes. Because it's essentially what happened with Anakin Skywalker in the prequel trilogy. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, essentially the same kind of thing. Paul essentially is going to the dark side, and he makes the Emperor bow to him at the end of the previous movie, and the Baron dies, and then Paul kills Fade. Austin Butler's character. That was a great battle, by the way. I loved that final duel between Paul and Frade at the end of the previous movie. But, seeing the friction that happened and what Channy's character, Zendaya's character of Channy, she just can't do it. She doesn't believe in the prophecy. She doesn't like what Paul is doing and how he's basically lost it, and how he's just buying into the whole prophecy thing of being a messiah. And I think it'll be interesting seeing in the next film how that friction will change things between Channy and Paul. And also we'll get more of Florence Pugh's character, the princess. I want to see more of her character as well. And with these great houses that govern the galaxy that Paul is going to war with, I like to know more about those houses and what these other, like societies of humanity are in the galaxy, and seeing more planets too. That's another thing. I want to see more planets and more space travel. I think it would be kind of cool if the next movie sort of starts like Revenge of the Sith did, where some time goes by and the war is already going on in space. I think that'd be kind of funny if they did that. It would be sort of like a reference to Star Wars Revenge of the Sith and the way that the movie starts. That'd be kind of cool. And yeah, I'm also curious because I know that the Harkonnens, because of what happened to the Baron, I imagine that they're not going to have a huge role to play in the next film. I'm sure they will have a role, but it won't be a major role. which is kind of sad because I really liked the Baron. I liked Stellan Skarsgård as that character. He essentially felt like a version of Darth Vader in a way in the world of Dune, and I was sad that he died. But you know, maybe at some point if they ever make like a prequel story, which, speaking of, they are making a Dune TV show that will be a prequel focusing on Paul's mom's uh, like religious faction, like this religious faction of women that this Dune prequel TV show will be based on, and it will stream on Max. So that's something to look forward to hold us to hold us up until Dune Part 3 comes out. And it'll just be really cool seeing also how Paul will essentially be like a false prophet. Like he won't be the true prophet because of what he's done and how he's twisting the whole thing, how he's twisting the whole religion and trying to gain power, which is something that he didn't want at first. He didn't want to gain power. But he bought into it, and now he's trying to conquer. He's trying to conquer. So we'll see how that goes in the next movie. And you know, the composer Hans Zimmer has already started writing the music for the next film as well. So great that Hans Zimmer will be coming back. You know, his score was amazing in Dune Part 2 and the first film. I can't wait to hear more because it's some of the best scores that Hans Zimmer has done for these Dune movies. It's some of the best work he's done in quite a while, and I'm really excited for this next movie. I cannot wait for it. Although the director Denis Villeneuve has mentioned that he wants to take his time with the movie. You know, he doesn't want to be rushed with a release date. He wants to take the time with this movie, which is a good thing. You know, the more time the filmmakers have to make a movie, the better. When the final cut finally comes out in theaters. So yeah. I cannot wait for this next film and seeing how this story wraps up with the character of Paul. Although, you know, there were still more novels that came out after Dune Messiah, the second book. So if this is Denis Villeneuve's last film, and this third film also does well, they'll probably still continue with more Dune movies. To continue adapting the other novels in the series. So yeah, I cannot wait for this. So that should do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.